Hey everybody, it's Free to Play Bust, kicking off expedition number 160. This is our first one of the new 110 patch. Let's see how it goes. Oh, there we go. Oh shit, there we go. All right, anyways. So here, I'm not like super interested in trying out Vladimir. He does have, good interactions with the new Trundle cards, but in general, I just no, I've never thought like Vladimir has been particularly good. Um, it's just not something I'm like super excited to pursue. So we're gonna skip out on this one. This Trundle here is seems like a pretty reasonable start if we wanted to actually pair it up with Vladimir. I'm not like super stoked what they've been doing with Trundle. Like if you're familiar with Expedition, like wouldn't this just like look like a fantastic start for a Battle Scars deck? That's what this is to me, right? But they didn't put him there. They left Braum there. Um, and there's still all these like random ass ramp cards and otherworldly creatures. So it's like, do we want to play Faces of the Old Ones, ramp up to 4 mana, and then just avalanche away our faces? Like, not real sure what they're trying to get at here. Um, but that's whatever. So nonetheless, we're going to take this Lulu. I'm kind of interested in what's been going on with these support decks. I think there's a lot here to kind of build around and do cool stuff with. And this is a pretty good start. I think Young Witch is the best of these 2-cost support units because she can pretty much attack without dying against just about everything. And then Tasty Feyfolk is a reasonable unit to be starting with. What we'll see happen a lot with these decks is, let's say we're playing our perfect curve into our opponent's perfect curve. Excuse me. We play Young Witch on 2, and then we'll say we're on the odd attacks, and then we play Lulu on 3. We had to have had a 1-drop in there, and so we're getting this attack with like Lulu, Young Witch, and our 1-drop. That's pretty powerful attack, right? But then on our opponent's turn 4, we just actually can't block with anything. Like we can try to put our 1-drop out of here in front of anything. Lulu's like never blocking, Young Witch is never blocking, and so we're just going to get reamed on the way back for like non-damage. And so Tasty Feyfolk plays pretty fantastically into that, whether or not it's coming down on that turn 4 to get a big block in, or if we're able to hold off until turn 5 to attack with this with quick attack. It plays out pretty well in these support-based decks. But let me take one moment to get this pulled up on the website. There we go. And as usual, the website is ftpbus.com. I did just finish up the 110 tier list, if that's one of the things you're looking to find here. It's all up to date and things. But what we're looking for here is we want to find Lulu. Look at the cards in her card pool. And so basically what this amounts to with Lulu is I think this is actually like 2 distinct decks. The thing that we mainly talked about at the beginning there was what I call like the 1-drop deck, where we're really looking to take advantage of Flower Child. We're really looking to play a support unit on 2 and then a support unit on 3. And then we just kind of have to make this like just monster curve of any 1-drop that we can find into playing hopefully a Young Witch, into playing hopefully Lulu, and then just having this ultra powerful board that our opponent has to make bad blocks into, lest they just die. That's kind of idea 1 with this. Plays particularly well with, of course, like Targon. Pairing Lulu with Targon is pretty reasonable. Also pairs off well with Demacia and all of the Challenger units there. Also plays pretty well with what are they called? The Bilgewater. They have a pretty big 1-drops theme that plays well with. Just kind of anything that we can get a concentration of 1-drops with will play pretty well here. If we can get some other support units to go along with it, then that's just bonus points. So that's kind of deck number 1. It's just kind of ultra aggro thing. Deck number 2 is just Swole Squirrel Build Around. And so all we're really looking to do here is pair up Swole Squirrel with Fey Guide. We just need to find a way to not die until it gets to that point. We aren't super worried about pulling off these attack combos. We just want Fey Guide, Swole Squirrel, and then some barriers. And then we'll try to just OTK with an elusive Swole Squirrel. The kind of reason I like to distinctly call out these decks specifically is like this Swole Scroll deck. He's a 4-drop. Veyguide's a 4-drop. The Barrier Lifesteal card is a 4-drop, and so it's really easy to overwhelm your 4-drops. And then if you start trying to fit in Fuzzy Caretakers, that just takes up even more space. If you end up picking up like a Shen or a Taric, those are more 4-drops, and so you really, really have to be quite mindful of your curve here. It's just too easy to get like 8 or 10 4-drops, and then your start of the game draws look like, it's like nothing on 1, a 2, nothing on 3, and a 4, and you just start way too far behind when that kind of thing happens. But nonetheless, back to here, we're taking the Lulu. Let's see what else we're offered up. Kind of interested in this Darius. I'll have to pull this up and see if the support cards are here. Fluft and Tuft Braum is also kind of interesting. It doesn't have access to the any support cards. There aren't any support units within what are these called? Freylord, but the ones we do have play well here. Like Braum is always happy to get a boost from either of these Lulu or Young Witch, and then it also has access to all these 1-drops that we were babbling on about for an aggressively themed deck. These almost clicked on it. These Overwhelm units play particularly well with the supports, and so kind of interested in this. This Diana, I'm not like super jazzed about pairing up with Lulu, although this does give us access to a Targon champion. I'd have to see if Luminous Dusk has the cards that we're actually looking for. Let's just go ahead and pick it up. Probably doesn't. So we're looking at Diana, Luminous Dusk. Yeah, they pulled out the good support units. Like we were looking to see, they had like randomly one of these, either Mentor of the Stones or Mountain Sojourners in there. Like these are the incredibly powerful support epics, and then there's also Tayari at the 2-drop slot. None of that lives with Diana. And then to take a quick look also at the Darius, we're looking for Kato the Arm, where he does exist. I think Kato the Arm is easily just the best support unit in the game. And then the other one being the 2-drop Legion Drummer, not existent here. It's a kind of interesting set. I can kind of convince myself to take any of these. Like when I had Darius pulled up there, I was like, well, I do get kind of excited about this Overwhelm plus Young Witch theme, but I don't think we're going to be pulling that off. And then here, I don't really like Messenger Sigil, don't really like Reckless Jafarian. I think I'm going to take Braum, and kind of the idea here being is I'm going to try to take all of the support units that I can find. I'm kind of initially planning on playing with 3 Lulus, however many Young Witches we can find, a whole big pile of 1-drops if we can get it, and then the top end of this deck just kind of looks like a They Who Endure. And so it seems like it could be reasonable. Let me see. I forget how all this is lined up. This has all of the Poros in it, Lonely Poro being the important one. Can't remember what else actually lives here. Fluft and Tuft is typically important. Poro Herder is extremely important. I forget that Von Yip lives here. He plays well with this 1-drop theme as well. And the Taskmaster just got the upgrade to 2. All right, I think I'm convinced, boys. Now the only thing that's odd here is I don't like 100% know how this card pool works. Is if we want to get Von Yips to show up, if we actually have to take a Piltover card. I kind of think that we do. And so this could be a touch awkward in that we're also looking for like kind of a Targon thing, because we'd like to have some of those supports show up. We're kind of interested in having Von Yip or Jagged Taskmaster show up, and so we'll have to take a 3rd faction, I think, but we'll just have to kind of see how things pan out up here as far as this goes. And here, this is just everything we want. We want these juicy 1-drops. Poro Herder's a great piece of value here. I think this is all going to be pretty fantastic. I'm afraid, the only thing that makes me kind of afraid is we're not actually taking the collective support pack here, and so I'm afraid that we're not going to see quite as many of these support cards show up as we want, because we're really looking to have Young Witch show up here. We'll just have to kind of see how this pans out. This Poro and the Herder are just way too good and way too on point to pass up with this deck. Okay. Well, it's happening with the Fluft and Tuft. I don't like Aurora Borealis, but They Who Endure is just 100% what we're trying to do here. This will be another one of these decks to where I'm really not going to try to take anything that costs more than 4. They Who Endure fits in there just fine. This is kind of the kind of expensive card we'll be looking for, and then we'll really just be looking for like Harsh Winds and looking for epics, and like just trying to be ultra mindful of our curve and trying to keep things pushed down low. So we'll see how this pans out. Right, don't want these rando bad cards. They are the Targon cards though, which is awkward. And then these spell slingers don't play towards what we're trying to do. Okay. It's interesting. I was gonna say, you know, given the choice of an additional faction, we'd probably really lean towards taking it here. Also kind of interested in taking these collective support because I know as this run goes along, we're not going to see as many of these. But I think again here we just have to take the Poros. The Heart of Fluft is he's not excuse me, he's not as good as They Who Endure in my opinion, but he's still extremely powerful, and he does get a little bit better with the Spell Shield Poro coming out of Ionia, or the Spell Shield Poro that might have been out of Targon. Which one is it? Porofla? Yeah, it's the Targon one. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Okay. Interesting here. I think we're going to want to take the Archer and the Troll Chant. Troll Chant plays pretty reasonably in these kind of decks. Just gives you a lot of opportunity for 2-for-1s. A lot of times our opponents are trying to just catch easy trades on our 3-drops. And it just, you know, if we're able to use it to protect a Lulu so she doesn't die in combat and then to win another one, then that's just a pretty powerful outcome. There is an argument over here for the Elixir and Ruthless Raider. These are pretty equal, but I think we'll kind of have access to mana. The Troll Chant is a little more powerful than the Elixir, but you know, the trade-off being this is cheaper. But if things come together how I hope, where we're trying to keep our deck super cheap and we're actually able to pull it off, we should have a little bit more spare mana to shoot for power level cards like Troll Chant. Okay. Interesting set. I'm not like a huge fan of picks, but it's like this is like I think like the best on average pack, but like from a raw power level standpoint, there's a Harsh Winds here, which I think we just have to take. The Harsh Winds is just so incredibly good. This thing sucks to pass up on these Poros. I don't remember if we saw a separate faction in the previous pack, but we're locked in now. We're not seeing Targon or anything. That might have been a mistake. And nonetheless, I think Harsh Winds is just too good to pass up. We don't really have any combos with this picks, so let's just go with the raw power level here. No, Shatter is pretty garbage. Alright, we always do love to have a Battle Fury in these kind of decks, and a third Lonely Poro works out just fine for me. The Conspirator Twin Disciplines is okay, but these Lonely Poros are just too important. Right. Got to come in and make it awkward. I really want this pack mentality. It may not like be super necessary in this kind of deck, but it just plays out to this theme so well. Picking up a second Battle Fury kind of sucks. But none of these other cards really play to the theme that we're doing. Like, really like upset about the one Shatter that I have. Don't want a second one. Icy Yeti's pretty mediocre. Fey Guide doesn't combo with what we're doing. And then the Fey Folk is fine, but we're kind of far away from this support deck now. And so I think kind of like the way we'll end up looking at this is like, would I rather have a second Battle Fury or a second Shatter? And it's just like, well, if we're gonna kind of look at it like this, like if we're looking to take cards that aren't Battle Fury here, like none of these are really worth like picking up. So we're kind of picking up a dead card either way between Shatter and Fey Guide, right? Because the only cards we want to be Fey Guiding are Heart of Fluft and They Who Endure, and these tend to be like 8/8s whenever we play them, and so it's not ultra important to give them elusive. So, just jump in on these Battle Furies. Okay. Interesting set. I wanted to see how our spells are looking because I don't really want to take any of these cards. I think we'll have to take the Mighty Poro. Just being able to give these Heart of Fluff's Overwhelm is extremely important. The Spirit Walker is kind of whatever here. I don't really like picking up expensive cards that aren't epics or removal spells, but might just have to do it. We may actually have a density of Poros that Poros next is more on the playable side. It's typically pretty mediocre, but we did pick up 3 Lonely Poros, which is quite a bit for this, and then the Discipline cards just aren't on point. But I think out of these 4 cards here, the most important one to take is the Mighty Poro, and the Spirit Walker's a reasonable add to go with it. Hell yeah, we can get more Battle Furies. Not today, friends. And so here, this is so awkward. I don't want, like, these shatters just keep showing up. I really want the Brittle Steel. It's the best out of all of these. We can't pick up a 3rd Battle Fury. It's just too much. So, like, we can ignore this pack over here. And so, like, again, with these, like, the best card out of these 4 is Brittle Steel. It could arguably be Scar Maiden Reaver, but, like, the Shatter is just such a shitty card. It's just a dead draw so many times. And so I think we're going to have to take the Raiding Party cards down here. Okay. Easy pick here. These are the expensive guys that we're looking to pick up. The Hearth card, and Omen Hawk's just one of the premier 1-drops in the game. Just an easy pick. Okay. Interesting. I was like, this is an easy Poro herder, and we've actually kind of, you know, we've advanced our Poro theme a little bit more, but I think we're just going to take this Harsh Winds. Not a huge fan of Entreat, but Harsh Winds is just super, super powerful. Okay, there's the Poro herder that we like to see, along with a Mighty. That works fantastically for us. God, that's annoying. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, anyways. Awesome, we can get rid of Shatter. Will of Ionia is not nearly as good as it used to be at 4 mana, but it is leagues better than Shatter, whereas these others are at least moderately playable. Getting rid of a Shatter makes me feel pretty good. Let's dive into it. Right. Let's see if my voice holds up in this one. Gave blood yesterday, and I think it left me not dehydrated, but it left me a little on the dehydrated side. I'm sure we'll make it. If we if we lose a game, we'll just say it's because I lost like 10% of my blood, or however much they take out of you. Okay, up Lux. We haven't played Lux in a while. So let's see here. We certainly. Oh snap! What the hell was that? Did we just win? Easy game. We were gonna smash that one anyways. That's why we had that Poro and the Lux. Yeah, we were gonna smash. No, didn't count. Okay. I take it back. I mean, this deck, excuse me, kind of turned out how I thought it was going to, where we just take all these Fluft and Tuft cards and then the collective support cards don't show up. Like, I did notice that, like, excuse me, there were like a few points throughout the draft where collective support was showing up. It was just the cards we didn't want. So, like, there was just, you know, a very specific set of cards we were looking for. We were really just looking for Young Witch. And so I did notice things like, is it the same guy, or did we get paired with a bot? That name just sounds real familiar. You know, anyways, whatever. So how do we want to do this? I love seeing these 2 Poro herders, but we don't have any 1s. We only have 4 of the 1-drops, though. But I think we can probably hard mulligan for 1s. We have 5. We missed. That's okay. I think we'll probably still just try to make value plays out of these. There's no reason to play it now. We're not going to aggro this guy out of this game. We're gonna smash mighty Poros into each other. Okay. This does get like slightly awkward. We would prefer to play Braum and you got a card? You got a card, friend? Yeah, we can just play Braum now. It's awkward because, you know, we want to play Braum, but then he would need to play a unit for us to hook. But I mean, this is slightly dangerous, but I think it'll be okay.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
There's no combat trick. Well, they took Elixir of Wrath out of Expedition. There can be a 1 damage card he could have though, so let's just hit this guy. Then if we get got by 2 Blade's Edges, then he got us.
It is easy, see? When going is tough, all for Braum, the hero of our stories.
Follow along, little ones.
My friend, you are lucky man. Good luck, have fun.
We want to get pretty wide here. I do want to open on this guy next turn. We don't have to get like a huge open, but I want it to be enough that we can flip our Spirit Walker and play the shared spoils with a plunder. So it looks like we're gonna need to just play all these lonely Poros.
We'll find you some friends.
Play the other one in case we find something better than Nimble.
Always chasing after this one.
Just want to force his Braum to bounce on ours. I guess it doesn't matter anymore since he picked up his mighty.
First we fight. We should be friends.
We can technically harsh winds into some of this. Like, he's going to get value blocks on our dudes. Like with this and this. I'm not super worried about that. We didn't even take him.
Will no one listen?
Reaver's a good pickup, but I want to go ahead and play this while we have the plunder. We can play Reaver next turn should we need to.
Spill from the sky.
So hit everything but this. That's okay. Are we going to want to follow up? Who do we want to follow up with? Icevale Archer's good here. And then we're probably going to want to Will of Ionia his Braum. All in all, this seems okay.
A true Freljordian welcome.
Depends. Like if he hooks our Stormclaw with Braum, then it just wins. But otherwise, he doesn't have a way to level him up. Okay, it's kind of awkward. I don't want to just play like a defensive harsh winds here. It's just like it sucks that we've just kind of like peeled off 3 of our units for no real good reason.
This is my sword. Ha! This is fun, yes?
Sure.
Our ranks fill the valley.
We can take 10. I want to keep his 4-attack guy up so we can hook it with Braum.
Bold,
He actually is playing Fluft and Tuft, so let's block his Poro. Okay. I mean,
Only a scratch.
we can only play one of these, which is kind of awkward. Oh, man, we drew our we drew our spell. Is there any reason not to? It's fine. Like, the big thing that this lets us do is hook his Bjerg with our Braum and have him not die. Sure. So you can also harsh winds here, but
We'll take what we want.
it's not the end of the
Trust
world.
me,
Like,
there,
we
don't
should still be able
show me your
to
best.
get a handful of his units off of the board.
Stand behind Braum.
This flip's not ultra scary. We can deal with this. We can just bounce it next turn if we want. I think that what's going to end up here is we're going to try to be fully wide next turn and then try to bounce one of his units at the end of the turn.
Time to celebrate! Look how we have grown!
Okay, works for me.
The people are my strength!
I want to keep this board open, so if we
It is
like
easy,
the
see?
unit we want to play is Mighty Poro, and we might just be getting a free win next turn. So I don't see a huge reason to just snap that off in
If
there.
I fall, so be it. Good luck. Have fun.
Sure. Okay, so I mean, we're probably going to be looking to play a Harsh Winds on both Bjerg and Crowd Favorite. It's unfortunate we can't kill both of them. Probably cool just killing Crowd Favorite. I think we want it to look like this. This. Do we ever get killed by
behind
this?
Braum.
No, because we're going to Harsh Winds it. Okay. Uh-oh, troll chant, sure. I don't think we ever want to just like return any of this stuff. All the things I'm considering now is if we want to try to just push in with a big Poro plan. It seems it could be reasonable. I think I like that. He is at 2. I mean, we can just try to kill him with a Will of Ionia next turn on one of our overwhelms. Then we can just play a second overwhelm. Okay, that's fine. I'm on board. I'm on board with the outcome here. We'll play this.
A good mustache on this one.
And technically burst one of these in combat, or we can burst 2 in combat next turn. If we don't want to just go for this Will of Ionia.
Smell that barg? Fear.
I like it. I like it. I think we're in pretty good shape here.
Pledge to Sejuani's service.
My
Do
shield
this
is
and then
my
take his
sword.
biggest health. So let's get Braum out of the way.
friends.
And and we can just react to whatever he does. So 5 of our units have Overwhelm here. He can line up some kind of blocks, but we can just kind of figure out which of these cards would be better. We even need them. Nice.
The day is ours. Now we eat.
Okay. Maybe we'll just get one of these like Lulu Young Witch packs to show up. It's not what showed up. So that's kind of interesting. I do like really want this Lulu, and I kind of want the Whimsy. This is a pretty good set of Braum cards. I don't really like Braum's flip. Lulu's flip is also Whimsy. It's just it plays so well with kind of like the overwhelm thing we're able to pull off, and it also like we don't have any real ways to like interact with our opponent's units outside of Will of Ionia or shrinking their attack. It kind of gives a way to just deal with anything, as long as that anything isn't a champion. So it's just I think the Lulu will play so much better here. I think we're okay to go ahead and just take this one. Just like I don't really want these Braums. He plays okay, and I'm just not a huge like. It's another kind of like chicken and egg thing where it's like I'm not a huge fan of Braum if he only has 0 attack, but we don't have our ways to give him bonus attack without these support cards. So I think I just want Lulu to be my support unit here. Hey folks, whatever. Whimsy is kind of our pseudo removal spell we're looking for. I think we'll be okay to take these. It's like I'm trying to think of the Ionia stuff I want. It's like I just want like 3 Lulu, I want like 3 Young Witch, the Will of Ionia, and then whatever epics show up. That's it. I don't feel like that's a big ask. Let's see, this should be an awfully slow number we're running into here. We'll just full mulligan and look for our cheap guys. Didn't quite hit it. 1-drops just don't want to party. This herder is pretty bad when you don't have a Poro to go with it. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, if you're playing against some kind of random aggro deck, then getting him down's okay. Shouldn't need to do it against this Trundle Tryndamere deck. Okay. Bro's just gonna ramp on us. Sure. Doesn't play well with our Lulu. Are we ever willing to just trade? I don't think so.
Hello! Hello!
We're never going to be able to just get our Lulu in, though. This is a horrible start that we had against this deck. Like, everything that you're wanting to do against this pairing of champions, just be ultra aggro, just get in there. Just our hand isn't able to do it. I don't see any reason to just go ahead and trade here. We're not going to open back for 1 damage. I would like to get Lulu going, or if we draw some Poros, get the herder going. If we get like 3/3 overwhelm, we can get him going. It's just this trade doesn't feel super good. Like, we're not opening for 1 damage isn't going to win us the game. But if his play next turn is just like random dude that we can trade with Lulu, then it's not as bad. It's really like the worst for us would be is like if we play Lulu and then he just plays a 3/3. Excuse me. Figure you, yeah, get him in as a 2/2.
Off we go!
Oh, got a card. Sure.
Bye.
Do we ever want to snap off the Aurora? I think we actually do. We have a pretty good chance of hitting a 1-drop, and if we hit a 1-drop, then we can start doing things with Poro Herder. I think that's fine. If he opens with this, we don't care. If he plays something like particularly scary, then we could still Omen Hawk. Like, that's all fine with me. As long as we didn't just like overdraw here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Do we actually want to play a real unit here? Like, if he hooks this with Thresh, I'm pretty okay with that. I think I do like just playing this.
Break the strong, slaughter the weak.
Because, I mean, if we're gonna get like these Poros going, it's gonna take us a while before we can like get these snacks online and get these units up to a reasonable size. I don't think adding that stuff here really does anything. This guy, he doesn't really want to battle with Scar Maiden Reaver. This is gonna put a damage on his Thresh. So I think we just want to open here. Like, none of his potential cards are like super scary. Like, if he has Vengeance, he has Vengeance, but he doesn't have well, I shouldn't say he doesn't have anything. The only thing that should win this combat for him here is the Fury of the North. If that happens, it's kind of unfortunate, but then none of the other combat tricks they have really affect this combat.
The trolls are going to war!
Go to war!
There is truth in blood.
Okay. We're trying to play the same game here. You should just be doing it so much better than we are. Kinda awkward. He comes in. It has to just be a harsh winds, right? Well, if this turn comes down to him having harsh winds on both of our units, and then we Battle Fury through his Thresh, I think I'm pretty okay with that.
Face me.
We don't need to play anything right now. Weird. Why is this ever an attack? To just do nothing. I don't understand. What am I missing here? Just one of those random cards that brings a dead unit back? That seems awful. Gonna like Icequake? Icequake was what it was. Okay.
Look out below!
Now, where did that one run off to?
Okay, and then how's this stupid card work? Allies everywhere? Okay. Yeah, you gotta figure out how these stupid cards work sometimes.
We'll find
My generated ones still get this, right? Okay. That was my big issue with the turn. Sure.
We'll find you some friends.
So we're getting a plunder in this turn. That's 100% happening. It's okay that he's going to eat a unit in game 3. We're just going to get this fully wide attack in, and then play some plunder Poros after the fact. Then this is, you know, what this deck's supposed to be doing is ramping up this They Who Endure.
Can see the Dabastian border from here.
Always chasing after this one. Trust me, they add up.
Okay, cool.
Look out for reavers. Nothing's tougher than a troll. Alert the village.
Aren't you lit up? Oh, he is. Kind of lit up. Did you get a quick attack regeneration? Okay. Drop Braum if we feel the need. I guess, yeah,
Snow
can draw
Sunder,
Lulu.
huh?
Good as bone shiver.
Okay. This should be enough. We're just bigger than him now, and we have a Battle Fury open next turn. Pretty okay with this. Can't get popped by a Vengeance or something, which is awkward, but
I can barely keep up.
he seems to think it's over. Nice. Okay, what you got for us, Deck? Call of the Wild. No, thank you. Maybe this card will be reasonable, like 3 years from now. I just don't like that these cards exist. It's just like a super high rolly card. I think games like Magic have had, well, I shouldn't say that they have had. They do have issues with tutors being too good, and then like they've just been through years of collected company, and then seeing cards like this show up, it just feels like a mistake every time. Like this card's either 100% unplayable or it's 100% too good. There's just no middle ground on a card like this. But nonetheless, it's not our problem for the moment. This is real awkward. I really want to hang on to these 1-drop Poros, although I'd like to have more Heart of Fluft. And so I'm just going to pick up the Flash Freeze for the shared spoils so that we have a little bit more interaction. I would like this to be at a minimum of like 6. If we could pick up 2 more Lonely Poros, that would be pretty dope. It's not going to happen, but one can dream. Lose my mind over here seeing Karma with the 51% win rate and an Ash with an almost 60, Gangplank with a 60. These are champions that just do not seem good to me. Okay, it's the full invoke here. Oh, don't think we can hang on to any of these. Like the Archer could be okay, but like this deck's never going to aggro us. Like I don't think we want to do that. I think being on the odds, maybe we do hang on to Mighty Poro. That's what we're doing this game, boys. Get the Mighty Poros ready. But no, kind of like my ideal on how to actually beat these invoke decks. It involves just playing. One of the routes is just be playing like a whole bunch of overwhelms. I really don't like seeing this deck popping off Omen Hawks. Like it's not a huge problem for us when they're playing like 2 1s. But turning those 2 1s into 3 2s is actually a problem. Right, because the way most of these games against invokes is going to go is like they're going to play these like understated invoke units. Like ideally he would have like a 2-1 here, and he'd take his 2-1 and block here, and then we're still getting our value because we're having this overwhelm come through. But this is kind of one of the awkward things against these decks, are the The ones and 2-drops are just incredibly good. I think we have to whimsy this thing.
We made it, Rim!
I want to go
Gonna
home.
eat this 7 and whimsy this dragon.
Burn away doubt!
Next turn we'll have good, at least one quick strike overwhelm attack. It's reasonably powerful. Do we want to open? Yeah, he can, like, his most likely play here is that the 3/5 invoke. I mean, maybe we need to just start slamming damage into it. It seems more legitimate. Let's see what happens here. Like, we're never going to harsh winds this turn. Yeah, 3/5.
What's that one? And that one?
What Poros do we have left? If we hit Lonely, then this one is good. Or even Nimble. If we hit one of the expensive ones, then I would rather just have a Mighty. And our other option here is to just play Tasty Feyfolk and make it have 5 attack, which I think
Looks like I'm ready.
lines up more with what we need to be doing
Let's
here.
do it, big guy!
Eggplant! Fucking eggplant!
Do we? I think we still do need to just slam this into here. The only real bonus we have for this this one unit is
This way!
like picking up Aurora Borealis.
As foretold!
Okay.
Scorching light!
Sure. Okay, so then do we want to just double Mighty and open with that? Interesting. I think we do. Now we're getting to the point where we can have like good harsh winds. We can just, like, one good harsh winds will let us just blast through
It has no reprieve.
a big set of
Fighting planets
Celestials.
to retrieve.
That's what he hit with his Moondreamer. It has to be. That's his Benazilian invoke. That was a pretty weak hit on Moondreamer. Just don't have the mana to add
Come
that.
on, Rib! Come on, chase!
Fall, heretic!
Shouldn't be having combat tricks. I think we're good to just go ahead and get these units out of here. I don't think we'll find a better harsh winds. He has one of his own to pop our Tasty Feyfolk. It kind of sucks, but okay.
So many stars.
I really wish we had the
Oh, fluff everywhere.
the spell shield Poro. Like, running this Heart of Fluft out against this deck is kind of scary. He does get the old Overwhelm elusive if we can be open attacking with it. I just worry about an Obliterate happening.
Burn away doubt!
Okay, so we need to get this guy out of
Gone
here.
and spoke them.
Falling to 2, probably okay. Then we can look to just get in a bunch of elusive damage. I do have to kind of worry about him gaining 5 life next turn, but I think we can beat that.
Little ones.
Let's do... Okay, we didn't hit one we wanted.
What once was two, now is one.
Okay. That should be good enough.
Zoom!
Alrighty. Good game, friend. So let's see. Don't. Interesting. So I don't. This is like too much. Like I'm kind of cool with picking up another Braum. This is like expensive stuff. It isn't quite what we're looking for. It's a little bit too expensive. But these Lulu cards are just like 100% not what we want. So I think we have to switch back and just be a 2 Lulu, 2 Braum. We're not a champion built around, so it's not super important. Like we got to see how good some of these support cards are that game. Just this young witch and tasty Feyfolk going to work. Like these cards are good, but I just like maybe we just don't have enough early drops for this Lulu. Like I just had kind of these ideas that we were going to be able to get more out of this early game. But I mean, we do only have 5 1-drops and then 2 2-drops that we want to play on too. And so maybe I should have gotten in my head sooner that we're more of a like kind of a mid-rangey deck as opposed to an aggro deck. But we just never quite saw the cards we needed to turn this into just like aggro support. Might be a problem of not picking up a third faction. But nonetheless, does this end up looking too hard of Fluft, 2-pack mentality? I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's 5 6-drops, 3 7s, 2 8s, and we could hopefully trade out like a Battle Fury, or kind of want to keep the Aurora. But if we could trade out a Battle Fury or a pack mentality, then it wouldn't be horrible. It's like it was ultra scary that last game. Like he played it out to where we could open attack with Heart of Fluft and not worry about it getting killed. But I'd feel a lot better if we had the Spell Shield Poros to go along with this guy. We can technically generate him with Lonelies, but yeah, I think we just have to take the Braum here. Like this Swole Squirrel Yasari, they do play on curve and to the curve that we're looking for. It's just they don't synergize with anything in our deck. We're just 100% taking this for the Lulu. But then even with the Lulu, we have trouble with her because we've never picked up through the trades the earlier picks that we needed. I am still going to take Lulu anyways. I just don't really want either of these. Like we just haven't had this game yet where we just draw 2-pack mentalities and can't win. Right. Uh-oh, here come the Blighted Caretakers. Let's see how this goes. Alright, well. We're certainly going to keep Young Witch Lulu. I think we just want one Lulu, though. And I'm not like super interested in casting Whimsy this early in the game. And if he has an answer to her, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's that curve we're looking for. Like this was the whole idea behind the deck. And so at least we get to pull it off for one game and see how it goes. Come on, bud. Alright, and then I think Young Witch is always a pretty safe play here. If he has, like, specifically Vile Feast, then it's a problem. but otherwise, we're just going to end up in the same spot, right? If he plays a 2/3 here, then we can still get in for 1 point of damage with Young Witch. We're really only getting punished if he drops a Vile Feast, and then it can be put in front of he can Vile Feast this, then block the 1 unit. Here, I mean, that's a touch awkward. I'm okay to just eat the 6 though, and so the question comes down to is like, I think we just want to go ahead and get Lulu down, and so we can we can technically block this thing if he wants to bring it in, but the big thing here is that we can Lulu our Braum. So should be able to handle just pretty much anything that he can play here.
When going is tough, call on Braum.
Don't need a ginormify you.
How do we want to handle these? Like, we're doing this 100%, but it's probably safer to put the +1 onto Lulu.
Come on, Rib.
Ha! This is fun, yes? Think up.
And hugify.
Sure. Should be pretty good. I mean, isn't adding anything to the board. We have this Usari that we can drop on his turn. Oh, buddy. Just all in all looks pretty good here. And playing a unit and hooking our Young Witch is kind of unfortunate, but we can deal with that if we need to. I just don't think we need to.
You accepted what became of us.
Okay, well, he can hit Young Witch, and then we'll just open kill both of his units. So let's at least wait on this combat to happen. This will flip our Lulu while we're at it. Oh, cool! And a harsh winds. Just nothing can go wrong now.
Show me your best.
He has a real tough time getting out of this combat. If
What are you doing?
and then the way I look at this is that the Collector is actually the problem here, and so if he's in a spot to where he's going to play a removal spell, we want him, removing Braum and protecting his Maokai. But then this way, if he does decide to kill the Usari, that we'll still have our stronger unit and Braum left over. We just want to go ahead and add this. I don't think we want to add this until we have the Poro on board. So let's just go ahead and play another Mighty Poro, bank up this 3, and then next turn we'll just plan on playing Poro Fla and Heart of Fluft. Oh, buddy.
What does he want from me?
Sure.
It is easy, see?
Hex power!
Okay, I guess we can't just Battle Fury through this as well. I'm kind of leaning towards like help fixing a Mighty Poro and then Battle Fury blocking Hecarim and then just having the Overwhelm unit for next turn.
Hex makes perfect. Hex.
Trample them both to my seal. The might of the Shadow Isles.
These units will shrink because this Hecarim's going to die in combat. Do this. We want to just take it? Probably. I'm okay with that. We can put Braum in front of something. This will just be a 3. That feels a little bit better. Okay. we just got pretty juicy open now.
It's pigs! Vroom vroom! Let's use all the colors.
What? This is fun, yes?
Got him.
Victory
Oh, shit.
is friends we made along the way.
So I mean, the curve panned out okay. That's why we made the deck, was we wanted to be playing you know, Young Witch and Lulu in conjunction with these 1-cost units. Can't complain a whole lot about how it turned out when we pulled it off. Our opponent's draw wasn't that spectacular, but we did okay there. Here, Entreat's the weakest. We're looking for these Young Witches. This is all in all pretty great trade. Don't want to lose our lonely Poros. And then this is a fairly average trade here. Not like super looking for Icevale Archers in this deck. We don't really have like a lot of good combos with this. So let's just go ahead and pick up the Witch. Okay, Eric, Leona, Diana, but all Targon. Interesting. I guess it would always be all Targon. It's still this. Hang on, let's just keep these Poros. It's still. I'm pretty sure if you add in other stuff, it doesn't add to that region. I think. Oh snap! All the lonely Poros.
They forced us to choose death or the blade.
Okay, so let's see what random we pick up here. See what he does. Don't I really want to just trade these off for a value block?
The journey is difficult.
This
These
is
will
okay.
protect you.
Well, if he spends a gem on Gift Giver, we're probably okay with that. Just doesn't feel like a real high value attack. Not doing a whole lot. Let's at least get Plucky down, and then we'll more along the lines of consider just fully banking mana next turn.
One star's Whipsy is another spark.
Is the thing I'm kind of like looking to line up is a Battle Fury on this Daring Poro. We're fine to just take 3. Okay, Young Witch doesn't really do anything here. Unless we were willing to like spend a whimsy on the Trickster, and I don't think I am. Oh, we could. No, we need to. I really just kind of want to pop off this Battle Freeze. So let's start with Lonely. See if we get anything cool. We didn't. We'll add Young Witch and then just pass. Then we'll find the time to get this this Battle Fury happening on one of our elusives. Kind of scary to do it like this early in the game since they can sunburst it, but oh sure.
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
Lulu!
It's okay if that happens. This would be an ideal place for Heart of Fluft to make an appearance.
The journey ahead is difficult. These will protect you.
A pretty bauble. But what does it do?
Okay, there's not really anything we can do about that. We can whimsy it in combat, but it's gonna make something big. I have to assume that if he attacks, he's just gonna support the trickster, and we're okay to just take a 6 hit out of this thing.
Stay focused.
But we have to deal with this now.
Be brave.
Oh, cool. He's just getting clever. That works for me. Changed his mind on being clever. And I think we just want to try to trade out one of these 1-drops. Do we? No. If he has that +2 health card, we're not gonna be like real happy if this thing survives the whimsy. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's been. You want to add this one? Well, we should probably add daring. I want to be battle furying into this thing. It's another turn of not really being able to do it. I can't. We're gonna have like a real hard time winning this game.
Sunlight blind.
It's just we drew way too much utility here, and against what should have a bunch of invokes in it. I assume we're gonna have some problems, but. See what pans out. We're a Heart of Fluft away from kind of running away with this.
Unseen,
Sure.
unheard.
All right. Well, there's our way to do something.
Answer to me.
We just want to just harsh winds this and then put a easy block in front of. That feels kind of weak. Other choices, we can get up to 6 health with Turl Chant. Weaken this thing a bit. I think we want to be going this way.
Why, hello there.
Okay. Uh-oh, has it got a hush? Yeah. It's problematic.
My magic.
You emoted a little early though, boys, and so you know what that means. You know what that means. This game's far from over now.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle fly.
Okay, let's pop this thing off. Got some Poros to add to the board. Pass the turn back.
Our sun will not set today.
Still think we're probably never winning this game, but he emoted, so we gotta run through it to the end. The Heart of Fluft. Okay.
A sacred guardian fueled by holy light.
He's attacking. I'm just gonna start passing here and see if we need to invest the harsh winds or the flash freeze or how many Poros next that we're able to play. That's not ideal.
We rise! I am the bulwark against darkness!
Pull off any stuns. Click one. Okay.
Raharak, march!
I think here we just have to flash freeze harsh winds.
Lunari,
There's
rise!
not a whole lot of ways around this. So I mean, it's like the big ones. I gotta drop one here. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't 20 in with this Heart of Fluft, but you know, he put forth a valiant effort.
Now, where did that one run off to?
Sunlight is unrelenting, as I must be.
Oh, we can't
Even the sun
survive
must
another
set.
turn. Maybe we might have another Will of Ionia or Flash Freeze or something. See if we can't block this when we can kind of deal with this board a little bit. The only like way to win this game is to get a you know, like 30 attack overwhelm Heart of Fluft, which we can do if we don't die next turn. We just couldn't come in for a win this turn. Didn't have enough health on the board without having those Poros snacks pop off.
The sun's splendor revealed.
Carrots can fly, Rib! Okay. Wow.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, he's gonna take forever.
To protect
I hate losing these games when they emote too early. So we have to go into it as long as we can, but wasn't meant to be. That's a game you're just never winning. We just didn't. You can't be going against like a Leona deck and not doing anything until like the 7th turn. It's just playing in too much to what they're trying to do. But here, I don't want any of these trades. They Who Endure just plays better than the Wild Claw in this style of deck with the Poro theme going on. We don't have combos for Swole Squirrel, and then Stand United's just not a card we're actually looking for here. So these are all pretty easy skips. On to the next one. These win rates blow my mind. It's like, it's weird. Like you expect, you know, kind of the way things will pan out is you'll have like the use rate for a champion like Teemo. I think Teemo is one of the more popular champions in the Runeterra or the League of Legends world. Apparently Ashe is more popular than Teemo, at least as far as this game's concerned. But you expect as that kind of like balances out, as that use rate goes up, the win rate goes down. These are all too expensive. As that champion just gets like forced more and more, and if it's just kind of a casual play, then you have not as awesome players playing with the cards. This is like a depressing start to the previous 2 rounds.
Punish transgressions.
It's like a full mulligan into the not enough. Omen Hawk's at least a not horrible pickup. Does a little something.
Unyielding light.
This is what really like blows my mind with Leona is like her early game 1 and 2 drops are just so incredibly good that it's just like everything a control deck needs for such little effort. Here, let's go ahead and get a block in. Never getting any value out of that Omen Hawk. Okay.
Braum is on the job.
Not horrible, not horrible. We'll still give up the affectionate Poro here for the trade into this, even though we picked up Heart of Fluft. We're not really looking at challengers and ability for this thing. We really just want Overwhelm and Elusive on this unit.
Do they need our help?
I guess now that Spell Shield's a thing, we're also okay with Spell Shield.
The dawn has arrived.
Carry her light across the mountain.
Time for this is fun, yes?
Don't think there's a punish onto this Braum. Oh god, is there? Oh, that's fine. Who cares about this? More than welcome to permanently boost the unit we don't care about.
It is easy, see?
The question starts to come down to like how greedy do we want to get here? We can technically like open Battle Fury next turn, which seems pretty reasonable, but again, it's like if we run into Hush, it's kind of a problem. But they have to specifically have Hush.
Solari control all that I want.
I think this will be okay. I think we have to take our chances and try to get this Leona off the board. Let's do this. Let's add Hearthguard. He can trade with Ravoon if that's what this comes down to. And then our plan is going to be to Battle Fury hook this Leona and then just hope that he doesn't have a
Let's show our friends the door. Good luck. Have fun.
Hush. What do you think about the rest of these attacks? If he, say, takes a value block onto our Mighty Poro, are we okay with that? Probably not, since we have the heart. Alright, boys. Let's see if this sticks. Nice.
Sun sets.
Well, if he sunbursts our Braum here, that's okay. And then if our Braum, well, he can sunburst us at any point, but getting that flipped Leona off the board is more important than whatever this is. And this keeps him from adding cards to the board. Sure.
Stay safe, my friend.
This is what I talk about when I talk about in a lot of my work. Probably should have played Nimble Poro. We don't have spells here, but I talk a lot of my work about how like going tall is just so bad now. By that I mean like trying to play Tryndamere or trying to build around Yasuo, or in this case trying to do the Battle Scars thing where we're going to try to put like the +3/+3 enchantment or the Battle Fury onto something. There's just like everything in Targon is so good at just like destroying all of that stuff. Safe now, right? I don't think we want to give a quick attack though. Maybe we do. No, we're gonna need a blocker now. If he comes back to his turn and he just attacks into us, then it's kind of awkward. Is that day broken? Yeah. That's awesome. Just get like 4 for 1. Right, well. Ravun is pretty impossible to attack into. Can play a Lulu and then Whimsy him though. So that would be a 7, and then we can still add this guy.
Now, where did that one run off to?
Yeah, like it's so hard to go tall now. Like doing things like playing Fiora and playing
Suffer unbelievers.
They will not
just
escape
any of
from
these things that try to just like build around one champion, like the suit up thing, to where you're trying to say like play Redoubled Valor on Sejuani. It's just so awkward now that there's Hush, there's Sunburst, there's the 2 Obliterate cards. Like it's like, yes, there used to just be like Vengeance and Will of Ionia. Like every deck kind of had like some way to deal with going tall, but Targon has 4 ways to deal with it. So it's not awesome. Still okay to get everything in. If he wants to trade, if he gets White Frame Protector in front of Lulu for us to be able to take this Ravun down, I'm okay with this. We can deal with this just rando beast. This Ravun is enabling his whole deck.
Gaze into the light.
The guilty will burn.
Okay, but I mean, it does at least seem like he's just pretty much just a Celestial deck, and so hopefully we can just kind of grind through this ever since we got the Hearthguard down, and we have access to just kind of, in general, bigger units than whatever he'll be deploying. Get him with this Swole Squirrel. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Devotion through battle.
Doesn't seem like ultra scary. He's got to have a combat trick here, though, right? Whatever. I'm fine with taking 10. Like, the only trick he ever has is like the plus health trick, right? He can Blessing a Targon to +3/+3, or he can +0/+2. Bilgewater doesn't have combat tricks. So, this is okay. It seemed kind of spewy.
Okay.
Who do we want to get online here? Excuse me. Let's just play the most expensive one. So this way next turn we just kind of have more options in what we're able to play. I don't feel like there's a huge difference in adding any of these to the board.
Oh, we'll find you some friends.
Okay. So, I mean, we are at least good to probably just add Swole Squirrel and attack with the Swole Squirrel and the Reaver. Excuse me, I have to imagine if he doesn't have a trick last turn, he doesn't have one now unless he just specifically drew it. It's kind of awkward, but whatever. Can't put a hook into this.
The enemies of day will fall.
Oh, he doesn't have Daybreak though. Leona, these cards are just so good at being defensive, whether or not it's one of these things with 6 health or adding in a just like the 3/3 for 1 mana.
Stay out of my way.
Where'd they go off to?
This is fine. We just have to try to whittle this down. This isn't a game, I don't think, where we can just sit around a whole lot longer and be successful. Surprised to see School Squirrel not get his health attacked. It's kind of dangerous letting this thing just roll around with a huge amount of attack. You got Joe to Immortal. Big decision time here. Interesting. Why would he do that now? He probably just doesn't have any more Zenith plates in his deck. Big pickup. Sure. You got it, boss. Okay.
Prove yourself.
Good game, friend. I think this should do it. He's got to draw pretty good next turn to get through this one. Oh, he's not going to plunder. Okay, we can hold off on doing that.
Set it all ablaze. Stay out of my way.
I was like, "Ooh, yeah, we can give this small squirrel overwhelm," and then that's not the way that works. Cool. Let's see here. Don't want to give up our lonely Poro. Don't really want the fuzzy caretaker. Flash freezes. Not really excited about the one flash freeze. I do get excited for harsh winds. Don't get excited for flash freeze. If this was a brittle steel, we could consider it. Be much easier to play with things like Lulu. It's a lot easier to just have 1 mana floating around, and then brittle steel whatever blocks Lulu, as opposed to having 3 mana for flash freeze. I think we're cool to hang on to the mighty. I think we have like 4 of them, 3 of them. That's a pretty reasonable number. Right, let's see if we get to battle against Leona again. We're going to see her. I mean, go ahead and get used to it. Like, you know, in the early rounds, you may not be seeing as much Leona, but once it comes to the later rounds, she's going to be showing up a lot. I think she's far and away the strongest champion set out of Call of the Mountain. Still don't think she's good as Zed. I think Zed is still as good as it gets, but she's good. She's no joke. Here, I think we can get rid of the mighty. Maybe not. I think we should hang on to it because there is a world where on turn 3 we just can't play Lulu. I'd say a lot of this depends on the Poro we pick up here. If, like, we actually hit Challenger Poro, oh, that'd be so sick. But depending on what he plays, we might just have to just play Mighty Poro and hope for the best. It's Fortune Swing Gangplank. That's interesting. draw. Alright, well I think I'm good with this line. We'll try to get the attack in now. We would rather attack with this and him block and take a point of damage as opposed to having to deal with this next turn. Because when we just kind of have to block this, we're cool with just never blocking Misfortune. Now this gets us in a spot to where next turn we can Lulu, and then the following turn we can Braum. Get this Lulu Braum combo going again. We'll have the Troll Chant for the combat as well.
Fresh out of mercy.
Sure.
Mwah.
Yup, that tasted purple.
I like doing things this way because it makes it, excuse me, when he doesn't know about the Braum yet, makes it a little more challenging for him to kind of play around this. Excuse me, get the burps. But
when going is tough,
whereas if we played Lulu this turn, then he would have been able to plan around some kind of challenge happening. Oh, when he hits on his Make It Rain, I don't really approve of that. But give an ally 2 health, give an enemy -2.
Make it interesting for
This
me.
should be pretty crushing for him. He plays 2 cards and gets a mighty Poro for his, or not even the mighty, just like the random 1/1 Poro for his trouble.
show me your best.
Should be probably enough to just close the game out. A pretty brutal turn for him.
It is easy, see?
Pillage and
Sure.
burn.
The War Mother will unite us all.
Block. I mean, we would have blocked it with Braum anyways, but can we just kill here? I don't think we need to go for it, but how does that look? If it'd be +10. He's bounce 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. He has to play a unit behind. It could theoretically get there, but it's probably not worth going for. Right, because we can get 3 damage out of this with a
Our
Lulu
banner
hit.
will lead the way.
Have you met my shield?
I think I'm pretty okay with just doing this and then getting a flipped Spirit Walker down. Sure.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Sure. Let's leave this space on our bench. I'm kind of interested in Icevale archering this Fae Folk at some point.
Safety will cost you.
Oh, we hit. So what do you think? Does he ever attack with this? Probably not. I just want to add you sorry. I think so. Like this, it just gives us another avenue for just straight up winning the game next turn.
Into the forest.
Does hit with this. Kind of surprised to see that. Okay, well, let's get you in front. I want to go ahead and prevent this. I want him to have multiple ways to stop us from winning next turn. So I want him to have to both have just some kind of straight up answer for you sorry, and then have some kind of blocking kind of shit that has to happen with these big overwhelms that we have.
One with the shadows. Avarosans, stand together! Today we fight as one!
Let's show our friends the door. We should be friends.
Okay. Alright, good deal. Get ready for that final battle.
See? Trust Braum.
Trust Braum. You got it, friend. Such a juicy combo. I mean, we've only drawn that Lulu into Braum twice, but it's been pretty powerful every time we've done it. So let's see here. Don't want Entreat, don't want Swell Squirrel. Whimsy and Troll Chant are kind of the same thing. I'd rather keep the cheaper one here. We already have the one Whimsy and the 3 Lulus, and so it's not a card we really have to go out of our way to find. We already have access to that. Here, we do have 2 Pack Mentalities. Oh no, we only have 1. I can't remember. I thought we had 2. Picked up something expensive down here. So I do want to hang on to this. I definitely don't want to drop below 1. I want to keep our They Who Endures. Don't want a 3rd Battle Fury. Okay. That's good to skip. Here, don't want Augur. We don't have any enablers for Behold. Don't want the Yeti. And we're good with these Heart of Flufts. We're good with our top end here. Like, I'd be okay with getting rid of 1 Battle Fury for something a little bit cheaper. Skip all these. Interesting. We're keeping the Witch. I think I am cool, though, with switching out the Heart of Fluff for Swole Squirrel. He just doesn't combo with what we're doing, and it's not like a like part of the curve that we can really take advantage of. So let's take the Heart. Don't want Caretaker. Good deal. And that's kind of close. We'll come back to it. I want to keep the Fey Folk and our Pack Mentality. So this is our only choice here, I think. It's just one of these things to where, you know, if you start with the Yeti, it's a lot better, but this is kind of better, you know, if you draw it ever on like turn 5 or turn 6. We should probably just hang on to the Reaver. The important thing here is, you know, they both have Overwhelm, but it's just kind of a matter of mana. I think this is kind of one of these things like where if your deck is bad, then you probably want to just pick up the Yeti and hope you high roll against your opponent in the last game. But since our deck is already average-ish, then it's probably cool to keep the Reaver. Okay. We're good on Poro Herders. These have been a little harder to pull off than I'd like. I was hoping to get up to like 6 or 7 of these 1-drop Poros, but it just didn't happen. We don't want Green Glade Duo, don't want Yusari. We'll skip this one. Okay. Right, let's make this final battle happen. Finding that perfect opponent. Off the bot. Oh man. 3 champions. All Shadow Isles. The Callista. And they decided that they didn't want 3 Callistas. Unless they started Hecarim Thresh and picked up 2. Anyways, we'll keep the Lonely Poro. See what else we can pull off. It has to be what happened, right? You start Hecarim Thresh and then just pick up 2 Callistas. Otherwise, you never just take 2. Like, why would you ever pick up a Thresh when you could get a Callista? I think what this deck will look like if we're going to get bombarded by Everglade Collectors. It seems like a pretty bad start for him. Like, I just assume whenever you get to this stage of the run and you're in Game 7 against a full Shadow Isles deck, they're going to be, you know, a heavy like collector carekeeper deck. These guys just Yeah. You can't be deploying your Blighted Caretaker with no early plays, just playing a 2/1 for 3 mana. Sorry, friend. Alright, we'll add it out. I don't feel like we're getting baited by anything here. You can pop us with a Withering Wail or something, but that's not too exciting. Poor guy.
What delightful agony we shall inflict.
Get tough, regenerate. I was really hoping for a spell shield. Okay. If we roll out this Heart of Fluft and he has a Vengeance, then he can be, you know, just right back in the game. So yeah, we'll see what rolls out here.
Savor the moment, heroine. I do not take orders from you.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Hook and blast us for, you know, 4/7, or, you know, let us block Hecarim and take less. Okay. Let's see if this vengeance is a thing. This is a scary play. Could have put a 3/3 in front of each of his champions and harsh winds them down. Certainly is probably a safer way to go about it. But, oh man, we just closed it out with Battle Fury. No vengeance. One time dealer. This guy deserves the vengeance though. Oh man, is he gonna get got by Battle Fury? Something that didn't vengeance that cost a whole bunch of mana. Come on, guy. We gotta drop this Battle Fury down here. Get this one over with. He would have snapped it off if he had it. I think we're good to go with this. Oh, is he playing it on himself? Can we Battle Fury his guy? No. Oh man. That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah, just Battle Fury his Hecarim when he tries to atrocity his face. Alright, well we're sorry, Wards will win the war. It happens to the best of them. All right. Yeah, probably not the safest way to go about the final battle, but you know, when you're running the old the Braum deck, you gotta do it sometimes. Just go for it. Let's see. All right, so yeah, I mean, get the LOR Guardian up. The deck didn't come together how I wanted, but I think the idea is good. Oh, it's gonna do this again. Then I've been having issues with my monitors and how I want this to work. And so I've been having to switch my main monitor around a bit. I think that's what LOR Guardian likes. But nonetheless, I think the idea here was good. We didn't, you know, get to fully execute the idea of using Young Witch and Lulu, and then there would be the 4-cost Squirrel with the likes of Braum and then the Poros. I think, you know, it's pretty reasonable, and I think this is kind of a thing that we'll we'll see more of in the future. It's like we want to play this Collective Support Lulu, but we really just want like 3 Lulus, 3 Young Witches, maybe like one of the 4-cost Squirrel and a Whimsy, and then just be done with Ionia. I think it's got to be tougher than we want to actually pull off, but if things go right, then I think it'll probably be pretty good. It's just, I think Young Witch is so incredibly powerful, especially when these get paired up with challengers like Braum. Um, and so it's kind of tough to, call it a Lulu Braum deck. This is the problem where with like we see the Solar Winds archetype, where it's Leona Yasuo, and you cannot, you want to play both, but 2-2 feels pretty bad, so you probably end up with a 3-1. But then, do you want your one to be Yasuo, which is the payoff, or Leona, which is the enabler? It's kind of awkward. At least here, these cards play together, pretty reasonably on their own. Lulu being fine on her own, Braum being fine on her own. Yasuo is not fine on his own, and so kind of interesting to see how these things pan out. But yeah, nonetheless, I think we did get kind of lucky in this deck picking up all these lonely Poros. This is kind of awkward. We did end up very heavily Fluft and Tuft, and the big mistake I made in the draft was I didn't pick up a third faction. You need to really be hitting these 1-drops. You don't want the Ionia one; it's bad. I think we certainly want a Targon one to hit the spell shield for Heart of Fluft, but then you're also looking for Piltover for the elusive one, or you want what's it called? The Shadow Isles one gives Fearsome. It doesn't matter which one. You just want a higher concentration of these 1-cost Poros than 4 of them, so that you're able to play these Poro herders more favorably. But nonetheless, picking up 3 lonely Poros was pretty lucky. This is just far and away the best one. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot going on here at this deck. As I speak to so frequently, with these decks, you really just want your curve stopping at 4. The things above 4 you're going to be like ultra careful about. Like coming into this, we knew that we basically wanted 2 Heart of Flufts, or They Who Endures. So we ended up with 3, but we wanted 2. We wanted 1 Battle Fury. We wanted 1 Pack Mentality. We wanted 2 or 3 Harsh Winds, and then Epics. Did end up with Aurora Borealis, which was fine in this deck. Typically, it's kind of bad. This Usari, Will of Ionia, Spirit Walker, Scar Maiden, Reaver. We could have lived without these. Hearthguard is fine because he's epic. But here our curve did get a little bit higher than we like. There were a lot of games where I was really kind of hoping to pick up some 1-drops, but this curve thing isn't like 100% set in stone, something that has to happen to be successful. It's just kind of the guideline for what we're trying to do. And so our curve did fall a little bit out of what we were looking to do, got a little bit top heavy, but we still got to 7 and the run still turned out okay. That's just the kind of the way I look at a lot of decks in general is, you really want to focus on that 4 or less card kind of thing, and then very specifically look for expensive cards. I hope we're able to kind of let that show here with this deck as well. We got our Epics and Hearthguard and Borealis, we got our Harsh Winds, our 2 Gigantic Overwhelms, our 1 Go Wild card, and our 1 Battle Fury. And so we at least did, specifically target the things we were looking for and pick them up where we could. Otherwise, we just tried to keep our curve pushed down pretty low. But yeah, would I try to draft this again? Probably not. This Young Witch Lulu, it might pair out with like an Ash as a particularly like better combo. Like if you're able to have the 3/2 for 2 and the 3/2 for 3, the Challenger Wolves, paired up with the supports, and then having these Frostbites to protect your Lulu and your 4-cost Squirrel. Could be kind of interesting. It's unfortunate Freylord doesn't have any support in it, but it could be a good place for these Ionia cards to show up. But otherwise, we basically were just a Fluft and Tuft Braum deck that had Lulus in it, which turned out pretty reasonably nonetheless, because I don't like building around Braum, and she gives us a lot to do with our early game. So yeah, it's kind of awkward. I usually have more definitive recaps here. This was just kind of a strange one, to where I was just hoping for like expanding on this to support on 2, support on 3 with a bunch of 1s, and then what do we want our 1s to be in this deck, and you want it to be a Lonely Poro. It's kind of just expanding on that. It expanded well enough, but I don't feel comfortable, giving a whole lot of advice on this style of strategy, other than kind of what we spoke to on the curve. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for this run. I'm pretty sure there's some rewards out here, so let's go ahead and click on all these. We did 7 and 7 this run, so we should get super rewards, because that's how things don't work. Just an epic fun game. Let's see, we've got all these other ones in here too. Ooh, we get to open champion wildcard next. I know that's what everyone loves to see. Ooh, new cards across the board. Oh, this is just all Targon stuff, and I was like, man, it's been a long time since we just didn't get shards out of everything. I guess that happens when it's the Targon cards. Okay. The old champion wildcard. Haven't spent one of those in a year. And then let's see what's in this weekly chest. Oh man, only gold chests this week. That's what happens. You gotta give me an upgrade because I spent the week making tier lists and stuff. Riot's got to give me a boost every once in a while. There's a champion out of the gold. That counts for something, I guess. As soon as they start giving us premium cards, you can take all my money. So that'd be just 2 champions on the week. It's not bad, I guess. We're doing a lot better with the old style expedition rewards. Oh, and a nocturne, so we got 3. Go us. How many? I don't check on this stuff like too frequently. Let's go into the thing. It's 108,000 shards, and then where are the wild cards at? Were they down here? What is it? 26 champions. We could probably buy the whole set if that's what it came down to. But nonetheless, I'm just curious. That is going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the run and learned a little something along the way. Had a good time watching and stuff. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.